Right. So, is there anything? All right, cool. We are live. So yeah, join me on building my MCP server that can manage tasks using tools like Claude Code or Windsurf, as well as create those tasks, then manage them, execute, well, not execute, but you will use your agents to execute them, but you can easily hook it up to your coding tool like Claude Code, use this as an MCP to create tasks, update tasks, and do more other stuff. I will walk you quickly through how it works and what it is. Basically, we've got an MCP section where we've got plenty of different tools. As you can see, we've got 18 tools. Some of them are to create tasks, update tasks, list all the tasks for a specific project, get a specific task, delete tasks, list templates. Now the templates are basically a type of file like here that is not working. We actually are going to fix it, as I did make some changes using AI and that broke it. Basically, the template is a template of your prompts and blocks that you would set up to create a task. So to explain it best, I can go and show you our project flows, which is basically named the same as the UI in here, or basically entire open source project. And then, as you can see, if I click on that project flows, I've got many different tasks. So one of those tasks is fix template properties that you've seen. We had a failure there. When I click on that template properties, you can see this is basically task created based on that template. So one of the blocks within the template or properties of that template is the title, and one of them is the description. Then we've got notes as well as items. Now what it actually is basically each of those tool, let's say the create tool, is looking at the template, and based on the template is creating the MCP tool properties, and each of that property has a specific prompt. So if we look at the description, there is a specific prompt to create that description. Same for notes. Notes has a specific prompt, and thanks to that we can build a structure for us to have executed each new item or created each new item in a way that conforms with certain standards. And then the same would go with the edit project. As you can see over here, we need to still do some work to make it nicer, but you know, we've got title for the project, which is project flows, and then we've got the description of the project. Actually, in here we can see the actual prompt for each. So for title, as you can see in the edit form, we've got for the title, to create the title, when using the MCP tool. So when using MCP tool, create project, first it will use obviously for context that prompt, but then, you know, if it needs to fill out all the fields in here, it will see this prompt that will inform, you know, the agent what to put in the specific fields. This means that we've got certain structure for our project. Now, and in the future, how it will work is that every time you create a specific task for the project, it will have the context of the project, or of the project prompt. Basically, it will use, you know, the description, the persona, and all other blocks within here first as a context, so it can create task based on that. So and we can see in action how it works in here. So basically going up, right, if we go to fix template properties, it's basically showing you how I've created the task to create to fix the properties. And in this video we actually going to focus on fixing that bug that basically I created earlier. So first, to not lose my previous updates, I'm going to just commit that, generate it and commit it, push it through. Now as we're going to work on project or on task 2, not task 2, as we're going to, all right, let's look at basically the flow of what the agent WinTF actually has done in here, and later we're going to take the task and we're going to execute it actually using Claude. So here we've got a hook tapped to our MCP server. Now, as you can see over here, we've got our 18 tools. Some of the tools is, you know, listing templates. Don't actually know why it had to list the templates. Shouldn't really go through all that. Oh no, actually it probably did want to understand the problem that we have. So it's actually good that it went through that, and it listed the templates as we had problem with the template page. Obviously it tried to use the get template properties. Right, it's listing task, it's probably checking if we don't have any duplicates, and now it's creating a task. So when it's creating a task, as you can see, it used all the blocks that we have within that task to create it. Then it output, then provided us with the JSON output of the structure of the task, and now it's basically summarizing what it's done. Now I've done like a follow-up prompt to basically say, make sure that as we replaced basically the tool we replaced get template properties tool with get all these properties, and I found that because of some reason, and it's very common situation with the LLMs or agents, sometimes they will duplicate things, and obviously we had already the tool that was capable of doing it, and the list properties basically has well, let me show you the actual another component within the UI is the list of all your tools, where you can test them as well manually by typing up all the individual parameters yourself rather than executing it with LLM. But as you can see, the get template properties is basically the same as list properties. Therefore, we've got duplication in tool, and because we've got already list projects, list task, I thought it would be nicer to just align it with the list properties and remove that task. Not sure why this is still there, as it's supposed to be deleted, but I think, as I've done it on another day, but I think I need to delete it after. But let's first have a look at our task and try to execute it. Now, to do that, to be safe, I'm going to create new branch. Let's have a look at the task number 100. So we're going to say task 100, and that's going to be our new branch. And in here, in Claude Code, that is connected to our MCP server as well. And as you can see, I'm just going to say MCP. Is it going to do anything? Nope. That's a wrong command. I'm supposed to say MCP like that. And as you can see, we've got our project flows MCP tool in here. So now it's connected. If you would like to play around with this tool, it's nowhere near being production ready, but I'm more than happy to release it in that state to GitHub for anyone to, I don't know, play around, contribute if they would like to, or even give any feedback or advice on what feature they would like to have. More than happy to do that. So I will make it public and work on it. The only caveat probably is that a lot of things will change, and as I said, it's not even beta version, it's probably like more like an alpha. But never mind. Let's carry on with our task. So now I'm going to say get project or list projects first. So I'm just going to ask Claude to list projects. So it will use the tool to list all the projects. Now we've got only one project, which is project flow. So you know we've got that, but I want, rather than Claude Code have to investigate all the files, which probably it will do anyway, but I want to make sure it's got some more context. So my project should have all the context that it needs. Then it should be designed through the prompts. Obviously the prompts that I've got included in there, they need some work, but in a way, when the product is finished, I'm hoping that the project itself will have enough information for Claude to go on and get things started. And of course, probably it's got a lot of duplication with like Claude.md files and things like that. But the reason why I'm building this is because I'm hoping it will be like more thing that it's human with the agent interaction, where you can use, as you've seen in here, like Kanban boards to manage it. You will be able to adjust anything by yourself manually, or ask your agent to do something for you. And quite frankly, sometimes you want to remove small things from the text, change the context, change some things that you don't really agree, you know, with the LLM, and you know, you have your specific things that, you know, you want to use instead of others. So that will give you a way of creating specific rules for that project. So now, as we've got only one project and we know it's project 83, I'm just going to say get this project. So I could specify straight away get project 83, you know, but it already is in a conversation, so it should easily pick it up. But let's see. Oh, there you go. So we're going to get project now, and as you can see, it read entire project, and now it's consuming a lot of tokens to probably understand the project. Yes, it did. It kind of got everything in and out, and it kind of summarized it for itself. So now I'm going to say, right, get task, and we know our task is 100. So I'm just going to give it more context and say, right, get task 100, and it will load everything into its context. So it will basically understand what we want to achieve. Right, so I've got that. And now it's enough for me to just say, right, execute this task. So, you know, this tool allows you to basically do your context engineering, to spend a lot of time using both different agents, you know, like within WinServe that can still see the context of all the files, then a lot better, you know, at analyzing images and things like that, and combine it later for the execution with the Claude Code. Another way I sometimes use it as well is not using Claude Code, but going into Claude Desktop. You know, within Claude Desktop, I've got a hook tab as an MCP server as well, which is quite weird. You can't see it now. So let's have a look at settings in developer. Interesting. So I got that failed. Oh, it's really interesting. Why is it not working? But right. Okay, it's connected. For whatever reason, it didn't work. And as you can see, we've got all the tools in here. So sometimes, you know, if I don't want to use Claude Code, I can use, you know, Claude Desktop connected to the same MCP server, and here I can like get, you know, task 100. And again, it will load it for me. And, you know, if I want to, you know, work on it in here, you know, improve it, do some like research, get some stuff online, it's a lot nicer to do it in here than you know, doing it inside of WinServe or anything like that. So I would use it quite often if I sometimes even create new tasks. I would come in here, you know, get some idea of, you know, I want to add extra page, you know, what is the best way to, to format MCP, format let's say Markdown. I want some nice Markdown output, like in our situation here, we've got task board. If I want to have everything nicely formatted, what libraries do I use and everything else. So in that situation, I came over here and I said, right, research the best libraries for React to format Markdown outputs and things like that. Make sure that the code blocks are formatted nicely and everything else. So I would come here and do the first phase of the research in here, and then based on the findings, I would say, right, create the task in here, and that would create that same task for me, and then I could go into other tool and like either Windsurf or Cursor or whatever, and get some context of the files and then prepare it basically for Claude Code or Windsurf to execute. Now, as you can see, I've got basically both Windsurf and Claude Code licenses, but if you don't want to waste your credits on small trivial things, and you think that Windsurf with, I don't know, GPT-5 or any other model, Claude Sonnet 4 or whatever, I quite often change the models in here. I used to use most of the time like Claude 3.7, but I quite often go to, let's say, Gemini 2.5 Pro to analyze all the files and give me some feedback on the files, what I need to adjust, and then update the task. This Gemini 2.5's got amazing huge context windows, so it's really good to get context of entire project. So I use that sometimes, and it gives me all I need to, or gives the LLM all it needs to understand the entire project, and then again I can use it to update the task as well. Right, so as you can see, we are executing the task. It's doing a lot of searching. I added something. Right, interesting. All right, as you can see, it fixed it already, so that's really amazing. So as you can see, yes, so the templates, going back to the templates, projects, they are basically, templates are basically different files. At the moment they are fixed, so we've got only project and tasks. There's another one coming which will be global, and that will basically represent like your global prompt. Then we've got project level prompts, and then the tasks. And if you want to change it, obviously this will be improved as we go along. With testing and everything else, you can just add, remove, in whatever capacity you want. But once we get to the stage where we've got everything nice and clean, and it works well with any agent, you can just then massage and tweak a little bit. But as you can see, we've got different blocks where you can easily come in, adjust your description. That description is fed to the agent, and based on that, the agent would create the description, the title. So based on you would give it your prompt, and it would look at the prompt, look at that. Okay, this is what I need to do for the title. This is what I need to do to make sure the description block is clear and concise. Take your prompt, and again, make sure that the personas, people who are using the project, which quite often is quite important for the context of the LLMs to understand. Then the features, like main features that you want to implement, and then you've got the stack, technical stack, architecture, and the structure. And now let's have a look at the task template. So each task, when you create a task, would then have all these fields. Well, definitely the title and the description, I think notes and then notes and items. So at the moment we're executing everything at once. There's a plan to change it and make it more iterative, like interaction. So basically you don't need to do everything at the same time with one prompt. You would create your, let's say, title and description from the first iteration, and then the LLM or the agent will be interacting with you to get more clarity on how to progress with adding personas, asking you who's supposed to be using it, same as features, what features you want to include, rather than guessing everything itself. But yeah, that's nice. As you can see, it works in a way that it fixed the project, the problem itself. I mean, you could probably prompt it straight away, and it will quite possibly would do the same thing. But the idea is that you can create loads of tasks, and you can manage these tasks in a specific way. I quite often have so many different ideas that I want to capture, but you can't execute those ideas all at the same time because of your capacity and as well other factors involved. Right, so what other tasks do we have? Actually, we've got, okay, it wants to test it. We kind of tested it already, so we can go to the templates. Before it wasn't working, now it's working. Actually, let's have a look. We've got text. Let's see. Okay, it saved it. I actually want to make sure that okay. Right, so yeah, so we have that. So if you have any comments, if you like to see any features, anything, please let me know. This was basically short introduction and quick demo of how to use it, but I will try to every day go in and do some work to show everyone how it's progressing, and hopefully learn some new stuff and along the way. Right, thank you for watching, and see you soon.